Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this next episode of the Family Tree Genealogy Guide Show. I am Denise. I'm the communications person with Lo Schiavo Genealogica, joined by our amazing CEO, owner-operator, Melanie Holtz. Welcome
back,
everybody. Yes, welcome. So Melanie and I, every once in a while, we get on the Zoom and we talk about genealogy, family tree research, because in case you don't know this, she wrote this amazing book, The Family Tree Italian Genealogy Guide, How to Trace Your Family Tree in Italy. So not a big book, it's not a tome, and it's one of those really easy to read books. So every once in a while, I write blog content because some people like to read and reread. We also do videos. So you're watching this on our YouTube channel, or maybe you're listening to us as a podcast, because Melanie wants to get this information out. She's passionate about connecting people with their family history. So we're going to talk about chapter 5, which is, I'm looking at my notes, Understanding Italian Geography. Are we ready to go, Melanie?
I'm ready.
Okay. So what are the different jurisdictions in Italy?
So when you're talking records and also political jurisdictions, we have the town or city, comune or città, the province, provincia, the region, the parish, when you're talking a parish records, ecclesiastical records, and the diocese.
Okay. And what are town unions?
So town unions are popping up in recent years. Basically, local smaller towns gathering together to be able to share the cost of infrastructure.
That makes
sense. So if this road needs to be built, and it's going through 3-4 different towns, then they share the cost of that. So you're seeing some of these unions come up. Mainly, I'm seeing them in the north, in various areas, and this helps the smaller towns afford, upgrading to the high-speed internet and the roads and all of that.
They spread out the cost. Do they also do it to maybe to do special events or anything like that? Or is it just more like infrastructure?
It's more infrastructure, but there is some as far as they have 1 or 2 days a year where there's a party. Italy has to have a party for everything. So they'll get together and they'll have their board meetings and all of that. And it's a separate organization from each town council. Each town in Italy has a council, and they make the decisions of the town. Not just the mayor. There is also a council of people.
And when we talk about the regions that were created, why were they created specifically?
Basically, for political reasons. And the main state archives are separated by regions.
Okay.
And often named for the capital in that region. For example, Palermo. That is where the state archives is. Napoli, that's where the state archives is. That's not 100% the case. Some of the smaller provinces may share a state archive with a couple other smaller provinces around them. But for the majority, there are 20 provinces, 20 regions, in Italy.
Okay.
And within regions, there are multiple provinces.
Okay.
So like within the region of Sicily, there are, I think, 5 provinces, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And they each will have their own state archive.
Okay. Does it also protect or keeps, not contain, but protect cultural and linguistic history kind of stuff? Is that another reason?
Yes, in particular because in the 5 areas that are semi-autonomous, Sicily being one of them, and the Alto Adige, and a couple other areas in Italy that are semi-autonomous. that, not, I guess, have certain things that they have autonomy over politically.
And are there like changes underway right now with regards to provinces and regions? Are they changing things up? And if so, what kind of impact will that have when it comes to researching records?
They're always changing. So one of the major changes in the last, I would say, 8 years or so is the creation of metropolitan cities.
Mm-hmm.
And when they created these metropolitan cities around the major cities of Italy, Florence, Naples, Genoa, Palermo, they brought in smaller towns around them into this umbrella of the metropolitan city. Sometimes, if towns were extremely small, then their records are transferred to the Metropolitan City Archive, to the main archive. Other ones maintain their own town hall, maintain their own records. So sometimes it's a little tricky in towns surrounding bigger cities to find where the records are at.
Because you don't know until you know, you know.
That's right.
Exactly. Okay, there are 5 main types of archives, aren't there?
Yes.
And what are they?
So the municipal, which is a town.
Okay.
And sometimes in the town there is a municipal library also that in larger cities can have significant collections in addition to what you will find in the civil records in say the Stato Civile office, which is the civil records office in the town hall. There is the state, so that is the state archives, as we were talking. There are parish and diocesan, and also kind of in the mix of that, there are other kind of ecclesiastical libraries, often based around museums or a certain sect of the Catholic Church, like the friars or something like that.
Okay. And I'm curious if people are like, oh, we're taking a family vacation, we're going to go to Italy because I think I'm going to do a little research. I got a lead on in this small town, and we're going to go to the town hall, what have you. Can people go look at those papers or by themselves, or do they need to have like an official rep escort them?
Well, it really depends on the town. Most towns won't just say, okay, here, look at the records, because they're official records and only certain people should be able to touch them. Mm-hmm. Most towns really appreciate and parishes also that you make an appointment. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise you're just dropping by and expecting them to drop what they're working on, yeah, to help you.
And how would you call them or check their website if they have one?
Normally just, make a reservation through the email. There's always an email address on their website.
Okay. And does it cost money to go look at these things?
No. In particular, the civil records in the town hall, they're not supposed to charge you anything. Of course, it's nice to say, maybe take the anographer down the hall for a cup of coffee for all the help she was, to you during the process. But they're not supposed to accept anything. Gotcha. Parish records, the same, but they're more apt to kind of, point towards that box in the corner, yeah, for the time that they spent with you.
Yeah, yeah. And can you take photos of the things you're looking at? Are you allowed to do that?
It will depend on the repository. So I have had the complete opposite. I went to one parish, to one town hall that had to photocopy everything for me. That's actually worse for the records than letting me photograph them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I wouldn't have used a flash. And the photocopier obviously uses light.
Such a bright light. Oh,
yeah. And sometimes in some areas, they will want a local historian to come meet you, especially in the parish records. Mm-hmm. And then the local historian will be doing much of the handling of the records and helping you in the process.
To protect the records.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, you mentioned parish records a number of times. What would be someplace online, a great place to start looking for parish records?
Well, the main one now is the website Italian Parish Records.
Okay.
And there's more and more records coming up on that website. Some diocesan archives have also started to digitize their records. There's a great collection down in Reggio Calabria, dash Bova. I think the diocese is Reggio Calabria dash Bova. They're doing a wonderful job of getting their records up. But there's still much work to be done. There's not that many parish records available digitally.
And which is easier or better to research, in the parish or the diocese?
The parish, because there's more records that are useful for genealogy. So what we're looking at in the parish normally is baptism, confirmation, death, marriages, and sometimes stato delle anime, which is a type of parish census record that was kept for the recording of the sacraments. And that can be a way of, tracing family back many generations at a time quickly, because you may find 4 generations in this household. Wow. And it'll list the vital statistics for everyone, even the 98-year-old great grandma, and find out where she was born. And therefore, the research goes off really quickly, and you get a lot of information from the Stato delle Anime. Wow. Those records were not required until 1693, I think, if my memory serves, when the Catholic Church, said that they needed to be created.
And you mentioned in the book that maps are helpful. Why is that?
They can be helpful in particular of finding smaller towns, frazioni, which are hamlets. There's oftentimes towns have, say, 5, 6, 80 hamlets under their jurisdiction. For a while there, the town of Lucca had 84 hamlets. They don't have as many now. Yeah. Some of the hamlets have, gotten big enough. Many have gotten big enough to be their own town now. Or they be kind of a hamlet of a different town. As Florence spread out, some of them became hamlets of Florence. But looking for hamlets, and sometimes you do have to look in older maps. Mm-hmm. Family Search and Family History Library in Salt Lake City has a great collection of older maps. You can also find many older maps online.
I bet.
Yeah.
Using technology for good. Okay, that is all the time we have. It's always an enlightening, invigorating conversation with you, Melody. We're here talking about the Family Tree Italian Genealogy Guide. Melanie, am I pointing in the right direction? No, the lady over there, wrote this book. So if you are doing or interested in doing a family tree based on your Italian family, this would be a most excellent guide. We hope that some of the information we covered in today's conversation is helpful. But as I mentioned at the top, if you have any questions at all, Melanie is there for you, because she wants to help you connect with your history, your family history. So thanks so much for tuning in. Ciao.
Ciao.